Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hi guys, how are you? This is Science Lessons Grade 3. Today, inshallah, we're gonna talk about Lesson 4, Chapter 2. What are heat and light energy? Again, what are heat and light energy? You're gonna find this lesson in the booklet, page 56. So, let's watch the video together to know more about light and heat energy.
All matter is made up of small moving particles. Each particle of matter moves because it has energy.
Okay guys, so you know now, all things or everything around us is made up of matter. Okay, so what does matter made up of? So if we look here, matter made up of small tiny particles. Okay, so we call the small things inside matter particles. Again, like here in this picture, particles. Those are small particles. Those particles inside matter always moving. Okay, so again, all particles inside matter always moving. Okay.
Because it has energy. The energy of moving particles is called thermal energy.
So we have something here. The energy of those moving particles is thermal energy. So those particles inside matter, they have energy. They have energy. We call it thermal energy. So what the meaning of thermal energy? Thermal energy is the energy of the moving particles. Excellent. The moving particles inside the matter. So those moving particles have two kinds of energy: potential energy and kinetic energy, and we call the both of them thermal energy. Again, we call the both of kinetic energy and potential energy of those moving particles, we call it thermal energy. Good job.
The energy of moving particles is called thermal energy. The thermal energy of an object increases when the object is warmed up. This happens because particles are moving faster.
Okay guys, so this means when the particles of the matter move faster, this means it's hot. So if we need the particles to move faster, we can heat them. Excellent. Okay, so if we heat the matter, it will be hot. This means the thermal energy increase, get more, it have more energy, and the particles move faster. Okay, let's continue.
Because particles are moving faster. Thermal energy decreases when an object's particles slow down, causing it to cool down.
Okay, so when we cool matter, what happened? When we cool matter, what happened? Particles move slower. So the matter have less thermal energy. Particles move slower, so we have less thermal energy.
Heat is the transfer of energy from one place to another. When you place a metal spoon into a hot pot of food.
So, what's the meaning of heat? Heat is the transfer of energy from one place to another. Like this soup, it's hot, excellent, and this spoon was cold. But when we put this cold spoon inside the soup, what happened? This spoon become hot. Excellent. Why? Because heat energy move from this hot object to this cold object. Good job.
Heat travels from the warmer pot to the cooler spoon, eventually making the spoon feel warm. Heat is also produced when some energy changes forms.
So guys, this is an experiment. This is chemical. Yeah, excellent. This is chemical change. When we use this subject and put it here in the water, it get in fire, as you see. So chemical changes like burning produce both heat and light. So when we burn something like matches, if we have matches, do you know match, guys? Matches? Yeah, matches, like your mother use it to turn on the stove. Yeah, so when we burn anything, this is a chemical change. Like when we burn this chemical substance, this is a chemical change, and it produces heat and light. Excellent. It produces heat and light. As you see, this is light and you can feel the hot. So let's continue.
This fire produces light, but it also keeps the campers warm with its heat.
So again, the fire here. Fire is a chemical change. Again, fire is a chemical change. So it produces heat and light. Why fire burning something is a chemical change? Why burning something is a chemical change? Why? Do you remember that? Yeah, because when you burn something, you can't change this matter back. You can't change it back to the first shape. No, it turned to a new shape, change it to a new substance or new matter. You can't turn it back. Okay, so this is a chemical change. Let's move now to page 56. Matter is made of tiny moving particles. As you see here in the picture, those are tiny moving particles. Objects get warmer when their particles move faster. Why? Because when they move faster, they hit each other and move here and there, so they produce heat. When they move slower, it turns to cold. Okay. Thermal energy is the total energy of all moving particles of the matter. Again, total energy of all moving particles of the matter. So thermal energy is the energy of all moving particles. It's the kinetic energy and potential energy together. Again, kinetic and potential energy together of particles in matter. So a hot object has lots of thermal energy. Excellent. But cold object has less. So why hot object has lots of thermal energy? Because the particles move faster. But cold object has less thermal energy. Why? Because particles move slower. Good job. Heat energy. As you see, this is a warmer object and this is cooler object. Like if this is the soup and this is the spoon. When we put the spoon, cold spoon, inside the soup, what happened to the spoon? It become warm. Why? Because heat is the transfer of thermal energy from one place to another. So heat can travel from one place to another, and from one object to another. Let's move to page 57. Thermal energy moves as heat from warmer objects to cooler objects. Again, thermal energy, it's the energy of the moving particles, moves as heat. So as heat, it means in the shape or at the shape of heat, from warmer objects to cooler objects. Sources of heat. We all know about the sources of heat. You can't tell me a lot of sources of heat. So when an energy is changed from one form to another, like it changed from electricity to light, or from maybe a lot of changes, okay? Some heat is given off. The burner coils changes electrical energy to heat. Yeah. Number 3, burning matches, fuel, or wood are examples of chemical changes that produce heat. Friction caused by rubbing gives heat. Yeah. If you rub your hands together, you can feel it's hot. So friction caused by rubbing gives heat. So the effects of heat on matter, like water. When we put the water in the fridge, so if the temperature was 0 Celsius, it means 32 Fahrenheit, the water will be ice. Excellent. If we adding heat to the water, like we put the water on the stove, so water will be water vapor. It's a gas. Excellent. Okay. So when we take the ice out of the fridge, out of the freezer, and we put it maybe on the stove or just outside, it will be, it will be melt. It will melt and become water. So let's say again that black objects absorb more light colors and become warmer than white objects. How, teacher? If you remember last session we talked about light and we said that light have 7 colors. So the dark or black objects, it absorb all the 7 colors, all the light, and it absorb all the heat and become warm. But the light or white objects, no, it reflect the whole colors of the the white light. So it reflect the white objects reflect the whole colors, so they don't become hot. So if it's a hot day, you're supposed to wear white colors, not black. So let's watch this video together to know more about the heat and thermal energy.
Heat energy. Everyone probably knows something about heat. We often use the word to describe something that feels hot when we touch it, or to describe a hot day. To fully understand what heat is, we first have to understand something about energy. Energy has to do with the movement of the particles that make up matter. If we were to look up close at the particles of something very cold, we would see them moving very slowly.
So guys, if you look with me here, those are the moving, okay, and watch together. Those are the faster moving particles. So this is hot, but this is cold, so they move slower. Okay, let's listen.
Of hot water in a pot would vibrate very quickly, so they would contain lots of energy. Heat is actually a form of energy that is being transferred from a substance at a higher temperature to another substance or substances at a lower temperature. Have you ever touched a hot pot that was on a stove? What happens when you touch it? It burns your hand because the heat energy is transferring from the hot pot to your hand. Your hand had a different temperature than the hot pot. Your hand was much cooler than the hot pot. Heat energy always travels from a hotter substance to the colder substance. In this case, it travels from the pot to your hand. Think about what happens to a mug of coffee when you pour hot coffee into it. The mug felt cool at first, but then felt hotter as you poured the hot coffee into it. The hot coffee transferred its heat energy to the mug, which was cooler. Heat is not the same as temperature. Have you ever used a thermometer to measure something's temperature?
Okay, so let's now talk more about the sources of energy.
Transfer of an object's energy to another object with a lower temperature. Heat energy is something that is very useful to all living things. In fact, no life would be possible on our planet without the light and heat energy from the sun. The sun makes it possible for all plants to grow. Plants, in turn, are needed by living things to consume. When we're in our homes or schools, we use heaters.
So, heater is a source of heat energy. So, let's watch more. Yeah, oven is a source of hot heat energy. Coffee maker, toaster is a source of heat energy. Another source is the fire is a source of heat energy. The stove, okay. And you are a source of heat energy. Let's continue.
A bathtub that is filled with hot water can transfer its heat energy to a person who needs to be warmed up. Heat energy can be used for many things. The most
Okay guys, so let's move to page 58 in the booklet and we're gonna answer some questions. Number 1, true or false? Thermal energy comes from the motion of particles. What do you think? True or false? Can you tell me? Yeah? True. Excellent. Good job. Okay, number 2. Heat travels from cooler to warmer objects. Oh, heat travels from cooler? Do cold objects have heat? No. So this is false. Why? Because heat travels from warmer objects to cooler objects. Good job. Number 3. Heat can change the state of matter. Okay, so let's remember together the states of matter. Matter have 3 different states. Can you tell me? Solid, liquid, gas. Super. So heat can change matter from solid to liquid or from liquid to gas. Do you think? Yeah, of course. So number 3 is true. Good job. Number 4. Burning is a chemical change that gives heat and light. True. Good job. Number 5. Friction caused by rubbing gives off heat. Let's try. Rub your hands together. Yeah, true. Good job. Number 6. Liquid water boils as it turns to ice. Oh, boils and turns to ice? No, boils and turns to water vapor. So this is false. Good job. Now we need to write a definition for each term. 1. Thermal energy. What do you think? Thermal energy is the energy of, or the total energy of the moving particles. Good job. Inside the matter. Number 2. Heat. Can you tell me? Yeah, what the meaning of heat? Heat is the transfer of energy from one place to another. Good job. So time for new words. Matter is made of tiny moving. Again, matter is made of tiny moving particles. Good job. Let's clap for you. Okay. The total energy of all moving particles of the matter. Thermal energy. Good job. Let's clap for you. And guys, this is all for today. See you next time, inshallah. Bye.